All right, guys, we got the TFL Arrow rigger here. Pretty cool little fiberglass outrigger. I was lucky enough to get one of these on eBay secondhand at a great price, you know, just hauling hardware. And I believe it was brand new. I don't think this thing's ever been ran before. I'll show you why in a second here, but it came in the original box. All the little bits and bobs, you know, were wrapped up in bubble wrap and still taped. So, you know, and it looks like it's never been messed with, so that's kind of cool. I'm just kind of like now, you know, just kind of laying out some motors I have that go, you know, that fit into it, seeing what props I have, how my batteries will fit in it, and you know, just kind of test fitting some stuff here before we get it out on the water. Got the hatch off here. Quick look inside. Pretty skinny, not a lot of room to work with, but you know, it's a nice clean layout, cut and dry. I just quickly here stuck a 2968 little rocket motor in the mount. It's a 29 millimeter motor mount in there, and a little ZTW 100 amp ESC, and then I've got a 3300 MAH 4S pack up there, which is nice that it's in there. You know, it's sitting flat, you know, kind of long ways horizontally, which is cool. That's probably you know, all I'll need as far as the size of the battery goes. But yeah, I mean, this is probably what I'm gonna run, you know, a layout like this. I do have some other 4S packs. Unfortunately, the 4000 MAH CNHL packs I have will not, they're just too wide. They won't lay down flat in there. So if I do want to run it, I'll have to, you know, run them like standing up vertically. So I don't even know if I'm gonna run these, but the little 3000 MAH packs, you know, fit perfectly in there too. So, and then I kind of just, you know, I pulled out, I have a whole arsenal of these rocket motors, little ones, big ones, you know, 36 millimeter, 40 millimeter, and these 29 millimeter ones. They're just, I get them on sale on AliExpress, and if you can get them without the cooling jacket, and they're like super cheap, you know, it's kind of cool. But that white box up there, that's a 2968 2800 kV. Then you got a 3400 kV, which is probably what I'm going to start with. Then you got a 3800 kV, 4000 kV, and then you got a 2958 4480 kV, which I may try down the road. And then I've got, I forget what this came out of, maybe a TFL rocket that I have. I believe this is a 2881 kV, 2958. These are good little motors. So, you know, that's an option too. And now that I'm thinking about it, I won't be able to, I don't think I can fit. That's that purple Turnigy XK motor. That's a 2858 2900 kV motor. They're good little motors, but it's being 28 millimeters. I don't know if it'll fit in this 29 millimeter mount. I mean, you're only talking a 1 millimeter difference, but I got so many of these rocket motors. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably start with the 3400 kV. That seems to be like a good setup, you know, 3400 kV in these little riggers from what I've seen on YouTube and Facebook. And I just pulled out some of my smaller props. I'll give some 3 blades a shot, but I'm probably, you know, primarily going to run 2 blades. But I mean, I've got, you know, just a bunch. You know, we got what 38 14, a 40 14, 42 14. You know, just cheap little CNC props. A couple D-tongue props, a 40 and a 42 16, 36 19, 38 19. And we've got, you know, another 38 16 and a 40 16. These are different. The rakes on these are a little different than these ones, so that'd be kind of cool to compare those. And then I've got, I think the 38 19 is still on the Midnight Gambler, and then that's a 40 19. And I definitely want to try the little 16 16 ABC prop. That's like a 40 millimeter prop. And a, what is this? Octura X642. So we got some prop options. And here's some of the pieces that came with the rigger. I still need to put on this thing. Got the little rudder blade, steering rod, turn fin. The turn fin is actually pretty nice. It is nice and thin. I mean, it's like razor sharp. It's got a little curve to it, you know, so that's cool. Got a little bit of cooling line. I grabbed this out of my parts bin. I like these. These are the longest cooling jackets I can find for 29 millimeter motors. They are 40 millimeters long, And I prefer the 90-degree nipples, you know, versus like the cooling jacket that typically come with these rocket motors like that. Most of the time, you know, these 90-degree nipples work out better for me, you know, for my cooling lines. So this is usually what I go with. And then you can rotate these any way you want, you know. I'll usually unscrew them all the way and put a little thread sealer on them and screw them in and stop, you know, the nipple to where I want it. And it works pretty well. So that's kind of cool. And oh yeah, so this thing came with a 3.18 millimeter cable that goes into a 4 millimeter prop shaft. And if I know, like on OSC, if you look at these, they're selling these Arrow riggers as like a V2 model. And when you read the description, it says it comes with a new updated 4 millimeter shaft. And I think that's the only difference. So I don't know if people were having problems with these separating, you know, because that cable goes into the prop shaft. I don't know if they're soldered in or if they're epoxied in or what, but like I ran one of these cables in a little mono boat, and I had a couple times where it separated, you know, I was having trouble with it. But something like this, a rigger, you know, a mono's got way more resistance. You know, it takes so much more power to push it through the water than it does like a rigger. This thing kind of just glides across the top. So I wouldn't be too concerned about a shaft like this in a rigger, but I'm going to go ahead and, I mean, all I had to do is pull the liner out, and then a 4 millimeter one-piece shaft fits right in. So I'll just run this without a liner, you know, in the stuffing tube, and I'll put a little bit of heat shrink on the end to kind of seal the gap, you know, around the tube and the cable, the flex shaft, so, you know, not to let any water in. So that should work pretty well. And one other thing I'm going to do is I am going to get my Dremel out, and I'm going to cut this stuffing tube basically in half and then put heat shrink over it. That way I can have more adjustability when I, you know, want to add positive or negative trim to this strut. You know, one problem I have, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I did this to the Claymore 50 and it worked out great. But when you have that stuffing tube running all the way in, I don't know how far this goes in. There might be a bearing there, so it might only go in a little bit. But when you have that stuffing tube running far into your strut, it makes it very hard to adjust your strut, you know, to get that positive, negative, you know, angle that you want. You know what I mean? So if you break the stuffing tube and just put a piece of heat shrink over it, you know what I mean, that frees it up. You know, usually when that stuffing tube runs in, I don't have a problem adjusting the height, but it's always the negative and positive trim. You know, it's very hard. Or in other boats, what I've done is I've shortened the stuffing tube where it just barely goes into the strut, and that gives you a little more room, you know, to get your positive and negative angle. So here's the Claymore 50, the bottom side of it, and you can see here, you got your stuffing tube, goes into the strut. I just basically cut it in half, put heat shrink over. So you got your liner is one piece and runs all the way through, but your stuffing tube has a little gap in it right there. And then I've got heat shrink over that. And, you know, of course, in the Arrow, though, I'm not running a liner, so there won't be one. But same setup, you know. Stuffing tube will end, have a little gap, and then you'll have one piece that goes into your strut and heat shrink over it. And that will allow you to easily, you know, get your negative and positive trim, you know, to your liking on the strut here. So what happened here was, with this stuffing tube and the little mounting bracket for it, and the reason I think the guy sold this thing, you know, I think he bought it Hall and Hardware, and when he put the stuffing, the shaft in, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of, see how off that is? I mean, you can't even, that's just non-workable. I mean, look how off, that is completely off. And it was like that before I even got in there and just freed it up, you know what I mean? I couldn't get under it to take any out, but I mean, it was, you know, that's bad. I mean, TFL, all the TFL boats I have, they're all usually built pretty good, you know what I mean? But there's always something that's a little off. The rudder blades on there are a little crooked, you know, the strut, you know, or stinger might be mounted a little bit sideways or something. It's never hateful, but, you know, there's always something. I mean, I've had my Osprey, you know, the alignment was a little janky, but not hateful, but you know what I mean? So, but that's pretty bad. So I'm assuming the guy got this thing and went to run it and just was like, you know, screw this thing, you know, it's just not going to work. But, I mean, for me, I just, you know, got my Dremel in there, grind it out. It's free now, so I'll probably stick like some toothpicks up under there and lift it up, and then just, you know, add a couple drops of epoxy and re-secure it, you know, and that should take care of that. But, you know, geez. But you can see here, this is with the liner pulled out, and I got the 4mm shaft in here. And, I mean, it's good, you know, and like I said, I'll put a little piece of heat shrink on the end here, and it will kind of wrap around the shaft, and it'll keep any water from getting up in there. But yeah, so maybe this misalignment here worked in my favor. It allowed me to be able to get one of these things, because I don't see these, I don't think, ever come up for sale used, you know. And the price of them new is a little steep in my opinion, but at the same time, there's really not another kind of smaller fiberglass rigger that anyone carries. You know what I mean? I mean, you got the zip kits, wooden riggers that you have to build. You got the little shrimp kit, you know, the little wooden rigger kit that you can buy. And I mean, you do have like Hydro Marine, I think, sells a couple fiberglass riggers. And Eddie in Hong Kong, ETTI, they sell some fiberglass riggers. And so does EcoMaster, now that I'm thinking about it. But they're all geared towards like racing. You know what I mean? This is more like I would say like a little sport cruiser rigger. You know what I mean? You know, and it's TFL. So like Offshore Electric sells these. You know, this is the only rigger like this that they sell. You know, that's kind of, I guess, available to the general RC boating community. So I don't know. So maybe the price of these is justified, you know, if you want a rigger and you don't want to build one. So, but pretty cool. But like I said, I'm going to start with a 2968 3400 kV motor and run this little ZTW 100 amp ESC in there, and we'll see how that goes. And then I do have a 2972 3600 kV motor, the same motor that's in the Midnight Gambler. I ordered one of those for this because I really like that motor. I really like the MSQ motors. And I ordered a Sea King 120 amp Pro ESC to put in here. You know, why not? I'll put the long can 29mm motor, and I'll you know, up the ESC a little bit. And they're actually a little bit smaller than these 100 amp ZTW ESCs. And we'll see how that goes. But, you know, for now, we'll start with the rocket motor and the ZTW ESC and see how it goes.